Welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rita Enung coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government seeks Chinese assistance to train engineers acquire modern technology. Court convicts Kanu on 2 counts of engaging in terrorism act. Plus, Israel launches fresh strikes on Gaza. Qatar warns of escalation. Details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and welcome back to Spectrum News within the hour. We'll begin the news this afternoon from the national scene, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has assured Nigerians and families of students abducted in Maga, Kebbi that the federal government will deploy all instruments of state to ensure the return of the schoolgirls. Tinubu's assurance came from Vice President Kashim Shettima during his visit to Kebbi to commiserate with the government and people of the state days after the abduction of the students. Shettima, who touched down at the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport alongside the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, Nantawe Yiltwada, and other members of the entourage, described the incident as unfortunate, stressing that the president's priority is the safe return of the schoolgirls. Meanwhile, Shettima commended security agencies for all of their sacrifices. Away from that, First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has urged all Nigerians to reaffirm collective responsibility to safeguard, nurture and empower every child in the country, stressing that children must be given the support and freedom they need to realize their full potential. In a message to commemorate World Children's Day 2025, marked globally on November 20, Senator Tinubu said the theme of this year's celebration, Listen to Children, My Day, My Rights, underscores the need for society to provide young people with meaningful platforms to express their thoughts, experiences and aspirations. She noted that the UNICEF-developed theme is a powerful reminder that respecting children's rights and protecting them are fundamental to building a just and compassionate nation. Oluremi emphasized that children must be viewed as contributors whose perspectives matter and not merely as dependents to be cared for. In another development, the Minister of State for Works, Mohammed Goronyo, has expressed the federal government's desire to build an existing cordial relationship with the people of the Republic of China in improving its road infrastructure and enhancing the capacity of our engineers to deal with modern challenges. Goronyo said this at a high meeting with a high-powered delegation from GGCC Global PLC in his office in Abuja. This was contained in a statement signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations of the Ministry, Mohammed Ahmed, today. The statement quoted the minister as underscoring the ministry's commitment to strengthening Nigeria's road infrastructure through enhanced technical capacity, modern engineering practices, and global best practice solutions. And from the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives Speaker Tajuddin Abbas has said that the Green Chamber is seeking to legislate for tax relief and exempt senior citizens from paying certain taxes. The envisaged legislation will also provide for free medical services for them in government hospitals. Speaking at a public hearing on a bill seeking to provide certain rights for older persons to ensure health and economic relief and protection for their social and civil rights, organized by the Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, the Speaker said many of these social benefits were previously covered by traditional family support systems. Abbas said the House resolved to provide a formal legal structure that would protect the aged from abuse. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has taken steps towards amending the 1999 Constitution to further reduce the age for those willing to contest elective positions across the country. As part of efforts, the House passed for a second reading a constitution amendment bill to reduce the age for qualification for membership of the Senate and office of the governor, sponsored by Martin Etim and 24 others. The constitution currently sets 35 as the minimum age for candidates wishing to contest for senatorial and governorship tickets, while the age for those contesting the House of Representatives seats is pegged at a minimum of 25, leading the debate on the general principle of the amendment bill. Etim, who is representing Urwe Ofiong-Oruko Udungoko Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State, said the age threshold for higher officers restricts the political advancement of young Nigerians. The lawmaker argued that the existing gap of 10 years between eligibility for the House of the Senate and governorship limits the progression of young legislators who begin their careers early. In another development, the 36 governors across the state of the Federation, under the auspices of the Nigerian Governors Forum (NGF), has restated their commitment to aiding efforts at strengthening sub-national support for gender equality and social inclusion. The forum's chairman and Kwara State Governor, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, gave the assurance in Abuja while announcing the establishment of a new Gender Affairs Department within the NGF to strengthen sub-national support for gender equality and social inclusion. A statement by the NGF's Director, Media and Strategic Communications, Yunusa Abdullahi, said Abdulrazak spoke while inaugurating the Community of Practice (COP) for Commissioners of Women Affairs. The NGF chairman said the initiative represents a turning point in the country's commitment to women and girls, adding that it is a remarkable milestone in Nigeria's commitment to gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. The governor said the states needed to collaborate and ensure the program's success. On judicial matters, the Federal High Court in Abuja has convicted Nnamdi Kanu of the proscribed separatist group Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB) on the offense of engaging in act of terrorism. Justice James Omotosho, in his ongoing judgment in Kanu's terrorism trial, found him guilty in relations to counts 1 and 2 of the 7-count charge being prosecuted by the Department of State Services (DSS). Justice Omotosho held that the threats of violence and killings, including the declaration of sit at home in the southeast states in his many broadcasts, constitute acts of terrorism. And now to Africa, where, with just a few days to go, the first ever G20 Leaders Summit in Africa, South Africa's security cluster says it is ready to secure delegates from around the world. The acting Minister of Police and the National Police Commissioner rallied troops at a parade in Soweto, said they must decisively be against troublemakers. Meanwhile, the Police Commissioner General Fani Masomola told officers that the country was depending on them for the summit to go off smoothly. The police service said the protestants at the summit in Johannesburg will only be allowed in designated areas around the venue. And still in Africa, the LC Palace has said that the French President Emmanuel Macron will embark on a new tour of Africa this week, hoping to spur new dynamics in the relationship between France and the continent. The tour will start with a visit to Mauritius today to promote partnership with neighboring French island Mayotte and Reunion. After Mauritius, Macron will be flying off to South Africa to attend the G20 summit over the weekend, which will be marked by the boycott of the United States. The French president hoped to use the event to meet his Algerian counterpart and try to appease tensions between the two countries. Reports say the tour also includes a stop in Gabon, where Macron is scheduled to meet with President Brice Oligui Nguema. On the foreign scene, Gaza health authorities said fresh Israeli airstrikes killed 4 people today as Qatar, a mediator of the weeks-long ceasefire, warned that renewed attacks threatened to undermine the fragile truce between Israel and Hamas. The new strikes came the morning after one of the deadliest days in the Gaza Strip since the truce came into effect on October 10th, and after Israel launched a string of attacks targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon. Despite the nearly year-long ceasefire there, the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis in southern Gaza said 4 people were killed in the strikes early today after the territory's civil defense agency, which operates under Hamas Authority, gave a lower toll of 3 dead. And still on the foreign scene, Ukraine said it had received from Russia the remains of 1,000 people that Moscow said were killed Ukrainian soldiers. In the latest repatriation between the two sides, the exchange of prisoners of war and the remains of dead soldiers is one of the remaining areas of cooperation between Kyiv and Moscow, which invaded Ukraine in February 2022. Reports say investigators and experts will soon carry out all necessary examinations and identify the repatriated bodies. Citing unnamed sources, Russian state media said the bodies of 1,000 killed Ukrainian soldiers were handed over in exchange for the remains of 30 Russian soldiers. According to publicly available information, Kyiv has received a total of 15,000 repatriated bodies from Moscow throughout the year. And still to come in the news. Super Eagles moved to 38th position in the latest FIFA ranking. Stay tuned for details of this story and more in a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned and welcome back to Spectrum News within the hour. Continuing now from the business scene where the Chief Executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, Gbenga Komolafe, has said that the Commission approved about $20 billion worth of field development plans in the last 10 months, in line with its ongoing reforms to boost oil production and attract fresh investments into the sector. Komolafe, who was represented by the Deputy Director, Human Resources, Corporate Services and Administration at the NUPRC, Efemo Nabasi, stated this at a two-day strategic media workshop for energy correspondents in Lagos. Speaking at the close of the workshop, Komolafe said the engagement underscored the high value in which the NUPRC holds the media, given its strategic role as society watchdogs and the stewards of public trust and information dissemination. He stated that the development was driven by regulatory instruments under the Petroleum Industry Act and further reinforced by President Bola Tinubu's far-reaching executive orders. And still in business, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has called for the investments in blue economy, automation, artificial intelligence and advanced technologies in order to enhance efficiency. MAN made the recommendations in the communique issued at the end of the 41st Annual General Meeting Conference and Exhibition of the Rivers Bayelsa States Branch. In the communique made available to newsmen, MAN specifically urged Bayelsa and Rivers States to fully develop and enhance the blue economy as strategic gateways for sustainable growth. In order to drive growth and development of manufacturing in the branch, the association also recommended public-private dialogue, cross-border partnerships to enhance trade and institutionalization to quarterly interaction between manufacturers and MDAs. In health, the federal government has vowed to end open defecation by 2030, saying over 45 million Nigerians still engage in the practice, as only about 25% of the population has access to safely managed sanitation facilities. The Minister of Environment, Babalabari Lawal, disclosed this at a press briefing to commemorate the 2025 World Toilet Day, with the theme, Sanitation in a Changing World. Lawal, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry, Mahmoud Kambari, noted that this year's theme reflected the growing impacts of climate change, rapid urbanization and widening inequalities that weaken sanitization systems. The day is to raise awareness and inspire action to tackle the global sanitization crisis, which still affects billions of people worldwide. And still in health, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has issued an alert following reports that chard has been banned and bloodline infant cereals over contamination concerns. The banned cereals are produced by a French multinational food and beverage company. The categories identified include Bledine cereals, Savour biscuit, Bledine Savour biscuit and light, Blyden Mate and Light, and Blyden Banana and Light. The listed expiry dates range from September 2026 to March 2027. According to the report received by NAFDAC, Chadian authorities imposed the ban because the cereals failed to meet European safety standards for aflatoxin B1, a cargogenic toxin found in some agricultural products. The agency said the affected products are already circulating in Nigeria, particularly in border communities neighboring Chad. And now to sports, where Nigerian Super Eagles moved up 3 places in the latest FIFA ranking despite their failure to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Eric Schell's side, who were ranked 41st in the October, now sit in the 38th position in the world. Nigeria, however, remained 5th in Africa, behind Morocco, Senegal, Egypt and Algeria. Spain maintained top position on the ranking, ahead of Argentina, France and England. Meanwhile, Brazil moved up to 2 spots to 5th, overtaking both the Netherlands and Portugal. And still in sports, the Nationwide League One, NLO, has announced the kickoff date for the 2025 NLO Cup. The tournament will run from Monday, December 8 to Wednesday, December 10, 2025 and will be staged at the Buhari Stadium in Abuja. 8 teams have been selected to participate in the competition. The clubs are Dante FC, FCT, Like Minds FC, FCT, Junior Damboram FC, Daura Castina, HBFC, FCT, Lapai Fia, Niger, FC Nasarawa, Galadima FC, FCT, S114, Nasarawa, and Simon Ben FC, Kaduna. On our entertainment news, Miss Jamaica Gabrielle Henry has been rushed to the hospital after she stumbled off the stage during the Miss Universe competition. The Jamaica representative fell from the stage on Wednesday during the Miss Universe preliminary evening gown round in Thailand. A viral video on social media captured the moment. Gabrielle Henry was strolling across the stage in a long orange gown before falling off the stage. The clip from the pageant shows when she was being taken away from the venue to the hospital on a stretcher. And that's all we have for you on the news at this hour. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rita Inung. Enjoy the rest of your day.